Now, I don't know about y'all, but I really don't know how long I'll survive in a world like this. I mean, I can't even yarn without making a sound or something extra like that. So I'm pretty sure if this happened in the world today, I die in my sleep from my dog walking across the floor to get a drink at the middle of the night. They hear his claws. So A Quiet Place is a movie starring John Krasinski, who also directed and got credit for writing some of the movie. And it centers around he and his family trying to survive in this post-apocalyptic world where you can't make sounds because it spells death for you. I say post-apocalyptic, but you really don't know because you don't see much outside of their bubble, their farm, and the little world that they live in. But you do get a glimpse at some newspaper clippings and stuff that basically suggests that the rest of the world is in shambles as well. Now, in this movie, these creatures come down to Earth and they're like extremely vicious. They're really heavily armored, like they have really tough skin, like rhino skin or something. So they're extremely hard to kill. Now, the creatures are blind, but they're extremely sensitive to sound. So the slightest sounds will draw them to you and they'll just come through and just tear everything up. First off, I want to start off by saying this movie did an incredible job with the intensity. Now, it's listed as a horror film, but I think it's more of a suspense film. But I can understand why they would say a horror film, because if you had to live in a world where you couldn't make sounds, you'd be living in a living hell. You'd be in a horror movie. Because, I mean, something as simple as clearing your throat, you're dead. But this movie was extremely intense. You can't make any sounds. There's no communication. So the way that these people talk to each other is through sign language and through facial expressions. And when the stuff happens in this movie, the scenes are so nerve-wracking that you catch yourself just holding your breath. John did an amazing job in this movie, but his wife also did incredible, and she's played by Emily Blunt. There are moments in this movie where she steals the show, and there's moments where he steals the show. I mean, there aren't many characters in this movie, but all of them did a great job. They also have two kids, a deaf daughter and a normal son, who also kill it when they're on screen also, because, I mean, it's a scary environment and you can't talk. So in the movie, you don't ever get that chance to have a release. Like if there's a sad moment, you can't cry. If there's a angry moment, you can't let out a scream. So the whole movie is expressed to you through facial expressions and sign language. And that right there speaks volumes for how good the acting was. Like I said, they had kids in this movie. Now, if I already had kids and this happened, then of course, great, I got to take care of my kids. But there is a great deal of the movie where Emily Blunt's character is pregnant. And I was sitting there thinking, like, I don't know if I would have kids in a situation like this. It just doesn't seem smart. And I mean, as you see in the trailer, she even has to go through labor while being quiet. Isn't that crazy? Why would you want to put that pressure on yourself? The movie only being 90 minutes, I personally didn't have a problem with the pacing because they were either showing, the world that they were living in, how they adapt to this new silent world, or they were showing the creatures, or they had an intense moment because there was a sound made and the family didn't know if the creatures were coming or not. So I never had an issue with the pacing. And plus, once the stuff started happening in the movie, it continued throughout the end, so I enjoyed it. So visually, they don't show much in this movie, but that don't mean that they didn't do a good job with the visuals. Because I mean, you get to see the bubble, you get to see how they adapt to everything. I mean, like they have to lay sand down to walk on to stop from crunching leaves and everything. They have like this light system that they use to communicate. So it wasn't big visual effects in this movie, but visually they did a great job portraying how humans would have to adapt if this situation actually happened. And like I said in the beginning, the movie is so intense and it does such a good job portraying the emotion off the screen onto you as a viewer that I was sitting in the movie eating popcorn. And at one point I realized the crumpling of the bag and the crunching of the popcorn when I eat it was too noisy. And I guess subconsciously I thought, oh, they're gonna come kill me. So I stopped. So the movie did a wonderful job with the urgency of silence. So to bring everything back around, Quiet Place was definitely a refreshing take on the horror suspense thriller genre. It's unlike anything I've ever seen, and it's genius in my opinion. It's super intense, the pacing's great, the acting is top notch, and it's an overall good time. So with all that being said, I definitely have to say it's movie magic must see. Now for the comment combo of the day, I want you to let me know, do you think you would survive in a world like this? If so, for how long? If not, what sound do you think would take you out? Whatever you think, comment below and let me know. Now, as always, if you liked this video and you thought it rocked, like, comment, and subscribe to see more from me, Mike Proc. Later.